So as of the recording today, I got my license March 30th. Today is May 6th. So about 36 days. As of today, my license does not have one policy written. I have not earned a dollar under my name and insurance in this industry. Now, some of you guys I sold through my wife's license. So I sold plenty of policies through my wife's license, right? My wife and I. Under me, I have not. In 2020, I said something similar to people. I said, I have not sold a solar deal yet, but we will be the number one in this company. I said in 2020, some of you guys took that ride with me. 3 years later, we did 2,100 installs and $105 million in sales. I'm telling you right now, and I'm recording it for documentation purposes, we are going to blow the doors off the hinges with this company. I was on the phone with the owner earlier today. I had the pleasure of doing 2 Zooms with him already. Stand-up guy, solid company. We're going to bless a lot of people. And I'm telling you right now, I'm looking to mentor frontline personal mentors, 10 to 15 people that want to go out there and make at least $250,000 a year and beyond. I've got some very, very big goals. I can't get to those goals without helping people create agencies, without helping people be successful. And it's an even playing field. If you don't have any policies written under your name, neither do I. I will go out there and push the pedal to the metal. I will go out there and create business. I will go out there. Somebody yesterday, a friend of mine, Adriana, who I'm going to recruit into this business, she's a veteran. I said, I'm going to recruit 40 licensed agents frontline in 90 days. In 90 days, I will bring in 40 licensed agents in 90 days personally. She says, where are you going to get all those people, JC? I said, wherever they're at right now. Where is none of my business. Why is my business. Right? Some of you guys are licensed. Some of you guys are going to like what we have. Maybe it's for you. Maybe it's not for you. But I'm telling you right now, look, watch. It's recorded here for documentation purposes. This is who's on here. Okay? Everybody on here, you guys are seeing this for the first time. Okay? And we are going to blow the doors off the hinges. And today is day one. I'm going on a 90-day blitz as of right now. So I'm very excited to be here. Now, the gentleman, that's enough of me. The gentleman I'm going to introduce has been a friend of mine for more than 10 years. When I say top shelf, first class type of human being and man and businessman, I mean it with every sense of the word. This guy is a tremendous leader. His background was, he started in the life insurance industry. I won't mention the name of the company, but it has America in the name. All right. And he went out and made 6 figures his first year with that company. I think $250,000 the second year with that company, or like 300,000, the second year with that company. To do that with that company, that is a tall order. And he's making hundreds of thousands of dollars here already. And he's only been in about a year. His sponsor is making $2 million per year. The $2 million per year in a year and a half. He's at $2 million per year. This is the leadership that we have. We have an all-star team. And I believe that some of you guys are right now, maybe financially you're not where you want to be. I truly believe that in the next 18 months, some of you guys are going to make $1 million. In 18 months, and possibly in 12. And I would encourage you to take this ride with us if you like what you see here. So my good friend, Pedro, and I, once again, we've been friends for more than 10 years. Class act, family man, has a huge heart, works harder than I do. You know what I mean? Like I work hard. Very few times do I meet people that match or beat it. And I think this guy beats it. You know what I mean? Plus, he's a lot better looking. You know what I mean? So I don't know how he does it. But with that being said, he's got an amazing story. This is my good friend and business partner now in this company, Mr. Pedro Gonzalez. The floor is yours, my friend.
Thank you so much, JC. I had the fortune of meeting a few of you already, Gabby and Brenda, and I think I've seen Alma right here. And listen, you guys already know JC. JC's a stud, right? Like, what could I say about JC? I've known him, and I just had a conversation with him earlier today because, listen, you meet people, and through years, right, you find out their character, right? JC's character has been up there, the top of the top, right? Every single time, like anything's going on, like he's like, even if he doesn't like something happened before that, it wasn't even his fault. And he came up and he said, listen, I got to make it right. And I'm like, damn, who does that? Usually people go away and like try to hide, but JC is that type of person that shows because guess what? Your character is going to follow you anywhere that you go, right? You guys know this. Obviously, you guys are here for a reason because JC is such a class act person. I mean, I've known him for over 10 years now. And all I've known is like this guy, like he just got me fired up right now. I'm taking notes. I'm like, oh, here I'm like getting ready to knock some doors and go out there in the field, right? I'm sure he does that for you guys too. No wonder he's such a stud and such a success in the business. And I was having a conversation with him for over a year about this company, right? And you're talking about playing hard to get, but finally, thank goodness we're in business together and I'm excited about that. But listen, this business is exactly that. Look up on Google, find out what industry produces the most millionaires. Financial industry is always number one.
Yeah.
Always number one. You're talking about real estate, you're talking about everything else is billions of dollars. The financial industry is $1 trillion industry. So you're talking about money over money over money over money, but you just need to have the right systems. So yeah, we did pretty well in a company that only has one product that talks about buy term and invest the difference. And I was wondering why JC never got a term policy with me. Well, hello, no wonder, right? Because we were with that company. He believed in the IULs. So listen, there's so many different products and so many different things that we have right here for you guys. And I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys a very brief presentation so you guys could see why we're so ecstatic about what we're doing. So let me see. Let me get a request.
Yep.
There we go. And here we go. Okay, perfect. Could you guys see my screen? Okay, awesome. Love it. So Diamond Leader, even the name, I love it. When I was making a transition from my previous company, one of the things that I was stuck on is almost like I called it like a hamster in a Ferris wheel, right? It's like going like this. I don't know if you guys ever have caught yourselves being in an industry where you're like, okay, what else is next? Or you're recruiting and you're building and you're like, okay, the next month you got to do it all over again. And then the next month you got to do it all over again. And I was stuck in that and I'm like, yeah, we're making over 300,000 a year, but guess what? In the beginning of the next month, we got to start from scratch all over again. And I was just like getting like frustrated and me and my wife were having not good conversations because we're like, well, what do you think? When you actually own a business, true ownership of a business is when you actually leave and your business will operate without you being there. And they sold us that dream in our previous company, and that didn't happen. Now I'm grateful to everything that it taught me, right? They taught me a lot in the financial industry, but it was time for us to go to another level, and that's why we joined Experior. And Experior is an IMO. You're going to see right now, but I'm going to talk a little bit about Diamond. Diamond is where Juan and Veronica Jaime are. Diamond are the leaders of Diamond organization, leadership development. They're really focused on building leaders. And just like what JC was talking about, that's why we connected so well because it fit perfectly with our philosophy, right? Our culture, our belief system is about building leaders. We don't just want to bring people in that are going to be salespeople. Is our goal is to build agencies for you to get to 100, 200, 300, or $1 million a year if that's what you want, right? It's up to you how far you want to take it because you're in control of that. But Diamond Leadership does all of that for us. Experior happens to be the IMO that we're with, which is an amazing IMO. Believe me, we look back and forth and everywhere, and we found this IMO that is amazing. IMO is an insurance marketing organization. Think of like Walmart. When you go to Walmart, right, they have distribution. That's what Experior is in the financial industry. A lot of companies go through Experior, and it's the distribution goes through them, right? And again, I don't want to talk too much about our previous company, but when you're only selling one product, and that's what I was selling, it's like going to Walmart and saying, and Walmart tells you, Gabby, Coca-Cola is the best thing out there. It's like we only have Coca-Cola, and they're gonna be like, well, I don't want Coca-Cola, I want Sprite. No, 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 you don't want Sprite. Coca-Cola is the best thing for you. That made no sense, right? But that's in essence what it is. It's like they're pitching one product and one product only. We actually had a meeting with one of the ex big guys in our previous company, in my previous company, right? JC, and he was blown away with everything. Like he's like, oh my goodness, this is that company, but on steroids. It's like so much that we offer right here. And this is from a person that sold his business for millions of dollars in my previous company and actually saw the value right here. So to be able to attract somebody, a big fish like that, is speaks volumes of the system that we have right here. So it was established in Canada in 2014, came over to the US in 2020, and we only had about 5,000 agents when I came in a little bit over a year ago. Right now, in a year, It's gone over 17,000 agents. It's having a massive explosion. I'm talking about people from all walks of life. I call it the United Nations of insurance companies because we're having people from all of these carriers, all these companies, PHP, WFG, I'll name it, Primerica, on my previous company, I call it practice company now, direct to carrier, broker. I mean, you're talking about farmers insurance agencies that are coming over because they're seeing the magnitude and how big this business is. And they've never been exposed to something like this and they're seeing it. And so they're kind of blown away with everything that we have to offer. So the power of choice is very, very important. And that's what I was talking about referring to Walmart. So the power of choice is, I mean, I'm sure you heard Nationwide is on your side. You've heard Aflac. We work with, we work with Gerber. We work with over 60 different carriers. And what's so powerful about that is that we have the power of choice. Okay. So, for example, final expense. Final expense is for people that are older, right? People that might have some health conditions. I'm one of those people that had health conditions. I had a heart attack almost 10 years ago, and no insurance will cover me. No insurance will cover me. And my story would always be, listen, what would happen to my family if I would have died back then? What would have happened financially? And that was always my story. In my previous company, that's how I offer the services. Because you got to believe in what you're doing. Like JC talked about. If you don't believe in the product, if you don't believe in what you're doing, you might get away and make some money. But if you're passionate about what you're doing, oh my goodness, you're going to transform your life and a lot of people's lives because it oozes off of you, right? So we were very big on doing what was right for clients 100% of the time. But the problem was that it was only one product. We had people that didn't get approved, and oh well. We had people with pre-existing conditions, and we couldn't help them. And one of the things that I'm going to talk a little bit about is called living benefits. I'm going to show you guys in a little bit. But final expense are for people that are older. We just insured a person that had colon cancer. We had insured another person that was almost 80 years old that had a heart attack, had a stroke, and we were able to insure him with final expense, okay, which is basically the final expense cost of a funeral expenses, 5,000 to 50,000 in coverage. We also work with just the life insurance license, 401k plans, 403 IRA rollovers. IRAs are individual retirement accounts. So I'm talking about there's people that have hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting in their bank account or in 401k plans or in the market losing money right now. And the conversation is very easy. We could say, listen, um, I don't know. I see iPhone right now. I don't know. I don't see your name, but I see Gabby. Gabby, listen, how's the market treating you? Wow, man, I've lost so much money in the market right now. How would you like to recuperate some of that money? What do you mean? We have companies right now that will give you up to a 20% bonus if you roll over your money. That means that if you have $100,000, we roll over that money, you're going to start with $120,000. And check this out. We have a zero is your hero, which means that you can't lose money in the market. That means that you have the ability to gain money, but you don't lose money. And especially right now, with a lot of people are concerned about the market, how it's going crazy like this. Believe me, people want to move their money somewhere where it's safer and where it's going to gain some nice interest on it. So that's 4143 individual retirement account rollovers, or just money itself that they want to put into annuities. We do that. We do term life insurance. Term life insurance is insurance that you have for a certain period of time, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. Why would somebody get a policy like that? Listen, everybody's in a different season of their life. For some people, they just can't afford a bigger payment. For some people, listen, they just want to cover their expenses. If, God forbid, they pass away too soon, maybe their children are young, maybe it's called the law of decreasing responsibility. As they're younger, in some cases, they have more responsibilities if it's their brand new marriage, they just bought a house, they have children. So there's certain responsibilities for a term. It makes more sense for them, cost wise as well. Later on, maybe they might be interested in what we call a permanent insurance. Permanent insurance is an insurance that is going to be for the rest of your life. Okay. And we have some amazing plans that build up cash value. So again, the conversation would be, listen, how would you like to have a plan that gives you life insurance, that gives you living benefits? And then at one point, every single dollar that you put into it, you're going to have it plus interest. So if you put in already 20,000, 30,000 over so many years, now instead of 20, 30,000, you're going to have 40, 50, 60,000 in there. And it did its work during that time, which meant that it covered you, life insurance, living benefits. You're going to find out what it is right now. Okay. We do health insurance plans. We do wills, living trusts, and much, much more. Now, for me, what was really, really powerful and was sold it to me, for me in this business and in this industry, because we didn't have this, is this, the living benefits. Many people think of life insurance and they say, why do you call it life insurance? Why don't you just call it death insurance, right? Because I have to die. No, you don't. Now we have products that offer living benefits that give you money if you get a heart attack. By the way, I had a heart attack. So I realized I'm like, wait a minute. I never had that. I was never able to offer that in my previous company. Heart attacks, strokes, if you get into a coma, if you have severe burns, if you get Alzheimer's, if you get injured and you can't perform two of the daily six activities like eating, bathing, transferring, toileting, like they'll give you money while you're alive. But look at these some interesting facts, right? Stats. 75% of US adults will have at least one major chronic illness in their life. Okay, so we cover for chronic and critical illness too. About 40% of Americans will develop cancer in their lifetime, and every 40 seconds, a stroke is happening. It's scary. This is real. This is going on right now. And let me tell you something, with all the processed food, everything that is going on out, it's just getting worse. Sugar and like there's so much. I don't want to get into that because we could get into a long discussion about it, conversation about that. But these are some of the living benefits, terminal illness. If you get diagnosed and you go to a doctor and they say, listen, you got 24 months or less to live, they'll advance you a big lump sum of your policy. If you get a chronic illness, if you get Alzheimer's, critical illness, critical injury, premium chronic care, fertility journey rider, and even compassionate care program. We have all of that. We did not have that in my previous company. I don't know if you understand what I'm getting at right here, but once you see something, especially if you're very passionate, a crusader about doing what's right, you can't unsee it anymore. So I couldn't in good heart stay in a company. That's why I let go of $300,000 a year to come over here because it just made more sense to do what's right for the clients. And I had personal experience of family members. I had a family member that called me and said, listen, my husband just had a stroke. Do I get something from the policy? And I'm like, we can't help you. We don't have that. That was my previous, and it really bothered me. And when I found out about this, it really bothered me even more because again, I didn't know what I didn't know. But now that I know, like I'm obsessed about making sure make a crusade to make sure I educate clients and all this. This is an example. Don't take my word for it. This is somebody that is actually under the Diamond Leadership Organization. She had cancer a few years ago in 2020. The company gave her 247,000. By the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but a life insurance policy is tax-free. You don't have to pay taxes. Every single cent, every single dollar goes into your bank account tax-free. Second, when you exercise these living benefits where they give you money up front, you get to do whatever you want at your discretion with that money. I will tell you though that the medical industry is not really set to help us, right? When you're paying health insurance. I had a friend in our previous company where they got diagnosed with cancer. She went to the hospital and they said, listen, you got about 8 months to live, but we can't start treating you until 4 months. It's like 4 months. I mean, that's the difference between stage two, stage all the way to stage four cancer, right? Like, how is that going to help her? So the beauty is that there is some terminal illness, right, that she was able to exercise, and they gave her a check, and with that money, she was able to go to a clinic in Arizona, and they treated her the same day. That's the difference between life and death for some people, right? And unfortunately, some people don't have access to that, so we are able to help with that. Now we had another one where 386,000 in 2025 last year. So this is examples of living benefits that are being paid out to people, right? That they're getting money while they're alive. They don't have to die. And again, if you live, you don't have to pay that money back. It's your money, 100%, which is really awesome. The next part is the rule of 72. This is something that woke me up also because it started teaching me how money works years ago. The power of compound interest, right? That's what Warren Buffett has became so wealthy because it's not about the big investments. It's about consistent, right? So this shows you how long it's going to take for your money to double based on the interest rate of return that you're getting from a financial institution. So it's very simple. You get 72, you divide it by the interest rate, and it equals the amount of years. So if you have $1, how long is it going to take for it to go to two? So if you get a 4%, you get 72 divided by 4, it's going to take 18 years. You get a 12%, it's going to take you 6 years. You get a 1%, hey, some banks are not even giving 1%, but 72 years. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think a lot of us have 72 years left for us, our money to double. But I'm very visual. So I pulled up this illustration right here where it shows you if you're getting 3%, 6%, and 12%, and you start in year zero, 48 years later, at 3%, 10,000 turns into 80,000, 6% turns into 160, and look at this, 12%, 1.2 million. Actually, 2.5 million, sorry. Crazy. It's crazy the amount of money that it grows by putting it in the right vehicle. I always tell people the right side is always the right. Yeah, because it's the better side, right? So we go next into one of the biggest transfer of wealth in history that is happening right now. So if you wanted to pick a niche that to me, this attracted me, quite frankly, Medicare is what really attracted me in the beginning. to make the move. And then I saw everything else, which was like, man, this is amazing. So the biggest transfer of wealth is happening. $63 trillion are switching hands right now. When I'm talking about these investment vehicles, an example right now is I see right now is very Verizon. What's your name? Because I can't. I'm butchering.
Varia,
Huh?
Varia.
Varian. Okay.
Period.
Varian. Okay. Varian. Sorry. Varian. So right now, if you have a client that has 100,000 and they roll it over, one, we help them with that bonus, but two, they pay us between $4,000 and $6,000 just to help that client move that money over. So my question is, out of that $63 trillion, how much of that pie do you want, right? To be able to help these people. These are people that are turning, if you guys know baby boomers, right? 78 boomers are retiring until 2030. So we have until 2030. These are the people that came back from World War II. They're turning 65 each day. Now the number has grown up to 11,000 per day are turning 65. So there's multiple avenues of income from there. If you have your health license, you could help them with Medicare. Some people don't have life insurance, so we could help them with final expense, and they have money. So you could help them move that money somewhere. They want their money protected, and we protect their money. We help them make the right. I met people that have $1 million sitting in the bank earning 0% interest. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that money could have doubled or tripled by now if we would have put them in the right vehicle, right? And the other part that I love about 65-year-olds is that usually they're the most influential people in their family, right? So that you get in with them, you make them your best friend, they'll refer you to the brother, the cousin, the sister, the nephew, the grandchildren, everybody. You start getting a bunch of business from there. My mother-in-law has referred us to at least 40 people already. She knows everybody. She puts us in front of everybody. Okay, so this is a big niche right here. The next part, this is a scary fact. Okay, just like JC said earlier. Look, I'm going to tell you the hard truth, right? This is a hard truth. 69% of adults have less than $1,000 in their savings account right now. And right now, the debt has increased. 20% of people owe money on credit cards, which surpass the mortgage debt. So people owe more money on credit cards right now than mortgages, which means people owe more money on these credit cards than the money that they owe towards houses. Scary, this number. Retirement, 59% of people say they're going to have to keep on working longer to be able to retire. Well, 36% of people say, listen, I'm never going to be able to retire. I'm going to work until I die, pretty much. And 44% of households said, listen, if one of us two passes away, we're going to encounter significant difficulty in the next 6 months. While 28% said, listen, we live paycheck to paycheck. That's going to happen within the first month for us. And then obviously investing, we're having the biggest transfer of wealth right now before our eyes. But this is something that I don't know if you guys seen a credit card statement lately. This is actually from a client, okay? So again, we do everything in finances, not only life insurance, not only retirement plans and investing, but we help clients everywhere, right? We help clients find solutions for them. This is an example of a client that came to us and he was making the minimum payments and was like this, barely surviving, barely paying the bills, right? He was paying month to month, pretty much, barely getting by. And they sent him the statement as they said, listen, if you keep on making this payment, it's going to take you 54 years to be rid of your debt. Now, if you make a $427 payment, you're going to pay it off in 3 years, and you're going to save $30,000. But let's face it, many people can barely make ends meet, right? Like right here. I don't know about you guys, but the cost of everything has gone up so much. Me and my wife were joking. We're like, oh my goodness, the little basket now, you fill it up. We spent like $150 last time. We're like, what the heck did we buy in that little basket? Before we used to that whole cart full and 100 and something dollars. Now it's just a little basket. So what do? We work with the company. By the way, the awesome thing about this company is that you don't have to be licensed. For people that are not licensed, you can start making money right away. I'm sure you've seen all these commercials from debt relief out there. We work with a company called Mediator. Okay. So Mediator, this is an example of a client that owed $30,000. Their average interest was 29%. Their payments was $1,390 a month. It was going to take him 382 months for them to get rid of that. Let's face it, like if you put yourself in their shoes, right? 30 years for them to pay this off. If they're barely making ends meet, imagine waking up every single day with that stress. Imagine waking up every single day with anxiety. And how are you going to do it? Maybe start doing Uber, start doing Lyft, start doing something else just to survive because the cost of everything's going up. So if they're barely making ends meet, they're barely surviving. Some people need help, right? And the alternative to bankruptcy is doing something like this. We don't do all of that work. All we do is refer. I said that not everything might be for everybody, but conversation is for everybody. We could have a conversation with people, right? Talk about this and tell them, listen, Gabby, how would you like to save some money on your credit card bills? That'll be cool. Like, tell me more. Well, listen, I'm not the professional. I could put you in a system. They've helped out many families, and if they could help you, great. And if they can't, then at least you checked it out. That's it. I don't have to be the expert on this, right? Because the more you know in certain cases, now, do I know? And I'm pretty sure all of you know, but you don't want to oversell because we have professionals that their job is to call them to put plans together for them, and we get paid for that, which is really awesome. So this particular client, we were able to help them save money, and their payment went down to 453 a month in 48 months, 4 years. So they saved $900, a little bit over $900. But here's what happens. Most people, most of us are habitual creatures, right? We figure out a way to spend that money. For women, I joke around, it's like the purses. For men, oh, let me buy a car, right? I have 900. Like, we figure out a way to spend this money. I come from real estate. I used to have a real estate office too. And I know, like, I would refinance people. And guess what? A year later, they would be in problems again. It would happen all the time. So what we did and what we do for clients is we put a plan together. So part of that plan is telling them, listen, how would you like to save $100 to $200 instead of the going down to four something? We'll put you in a plan that you'll pay off your debt in 4 years, but you also have over $30,000 saved in your account. That's what we do. By the way, we were talking about the IO. There is plans for that we can help them, right? And they have all of the perks. So that's one of the products that is additional. That is great for you guys that are unlicensed right now. If you're licensed, great to you have everything. But if you're unlicensed, you at least could start making some money right away. Now, what do we do for clients? We do a financial needs analysis. So we help them with cash flow, how to earn additional income, manage expenses, right? Help them structure all of that, properly protect against loss of income as well, protect family assets. We help them create emergency funds. There's high yield savings accounts out there that we could guide them to, right? That where they could put their money 3, 4, 5% interest. It doesn't have to be with us, but we guide them, right? The whole key is to build value and education for clients. Debt management, I just showed you a little bit about that. Building wealth, how to strive to outpace inflation, because if inflation is real, $5,000 5, 10 years ago would have bought you a lot more than $5,000 buys you right now, even a dollar. We joked around and we're like, man, a dollar, $2, what does it buy you anymore? It doesn't buy you anything anymore. Professional money management, and we also teach you how to preserve wealth. By the way, the other product that you're able to offer, I just helped out my cousin right now, is living trust. We refer living trust. So people want to get a living trust. I don't know if you guys know this, but Prince, the singer, didn't have a living trust. His estate went into probate. Probate is when the court decides who gets the money for over 7 years. Because all of a sudden, brothers, cousins, family members came out of the woodwork. Oh, that's mine. He said it's me. He said it's me. And the court is the one that gets to decide. The second thing that people don't know, if you own properties or if you own assets, if you get into an accident, they'll sue you, right? Depending on how it is. There's a lot of attorneys right now that will go after whatever the insurance will pay. But if they find out you have assets, they'll even go after your assets as well. If you have a house, they'll go after your house. So if you put it into a living trust, it protects you. By the way, living trusts are so affordable. It's like $1,200, $1,300, paralegals, attorneys that we work with, and they pay us at least $200 per referral. And again, we just refer it. So I just made 200 and change right now because my cousin asked me about a living trust. I posted it and I said, okay, boom, 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 enter it, referred it. They do the rest. They just send me 200 and something dollars, just like that. Just again, a conversation. I don't have to explain everything. There's flyers and everything that they provide for us, marketing materials that you can post on social media. But at the end of the day, the experts is in financial. Everything else that we offer, we let the professionals do their job and we just make our money from there. So this is part of financial analysis that we do. And by the way, you're like, man, that's a lot of information, all of this. Listen, we have training that we provide during the week, okay? We have training that is live. We do Zoom trainings. For example, on Mondays, we do base shop training, the team training. We do a lot of one-on-one trainings to be able to help you in different areas, questions or conversations, right? Even with clients. But we also do trainings through Zoom in English and Spanish, by the way. Okay. So we do on Tuesdays, we talk about final expense or term, right? Either one of those. On Wednesdays, we do talk about recruiting. And I'm speaking to the choir because you guys are the masters of recruiting. So you guys could probably teach us a little bit more about recruiting. On Thursdays, we talk about IULs and annuities. And then on Saturdays, we talk about building your business, right? Builders boot camp, right? How to build your business, different questions that people have, building agencies. And BPN, what we're talking about right now, there's a business presentation meeting that we do every Wednesday. So if you have people, English and Spanish, both of them, by the way. So if you have people that you want to invite to any of these, I call it, listen, I call it this way. If you're thinking about building a massive business, just like what JC talked about, I'm not here to reinvent the wheel. I'm leveraging the diamond system that we have because there's different people presenting. I present sometimes, different people present, but I'm looking at it like, man, this is amazing. I don't have to be doing all of this work. I have people that are already doing this for me. Are you kidding me? That is insane. So that helps me and has helped me build my business to the point where it just keeps on growing. And it's like I could be on vacation and I still keep on getting the messages. A new person came in, new person came in, new policies got submitted because we have a system that is helping us. This is part of the system as well. And listen, many people might be thinking right now, show me the money. Like, tell me a little bit about the money. Like, okay, all this talking is great, but show me the money. This is, listen, I've owned multiple businesses. I owned a real estate company. I owned a home security company that we were doing pretty good. We were ranked number one in California, number six in the country for ADT authorized dealers, making very good money. But unfortunately, I was running a business that owned me more than I owned it. And I found out the hard truth when I had my heart attack. Okay. And I would lose a lot of people because if you're an owner, you're the only owner, right? You can't have other owners. And so that's why I love the network marketing model. And they actually created this. It's called a tribird in this industry. So number one, how do you make money? Personal income. Your number one override is always going to be on you. So get used to writing business, okay? And I also say, listen, don't be a travel agent in this business, okay? What is a travel agent? You send somebody to do something that you've never done. So if you're not writing up policies, I can't expect to teach somebody else to write up policies if you haven't done it. So it's important to learn how to do this business, and personal income is so, so important. Okay. Second is agency owner. Once you become an agency owner, now you get to override a lot more people. Okay. Now there's no limit to where you could get, but there's a higher level than agency owner. It's actually promoting agencies. The purpose of becoming an agency owner right here is to promote agencies. And as you're promoting agencies, I'm telling you, like if you want to know the plan to make $1 million, the plan is simple. You just got to reverse engineer. We'll show you. Okay. Promoting agencies, now you could expand anywhere in the country and have agencies throughout the country. Fourth one is bonuses. You actually get bonuses from the production that you do the previous month, and then residual income. I love residual income because you helped out a client and you get paid on it monthly, a percentage of whatever they're paying on their monthly bill, which is awesome. Believe me. The expansion, what I'm talking about agencies is this, okay? And I'm going to show you in a little bit about the commission structure, how the normal system outside is flawed, and obviously the multi-level way is the best one. I'm going to show you a little bit in the commission structure, but look, this is how it looks like to have an agency. Let's say you have six, it's called senior financial associates on your team, right? And they're averaging about 30,000 in premium. Believe me, this might be foreign to you, but 30,000 in premium is not really a lot, guys. It's not really a lot. We were doing 80 to 100,000 in our previous company. Right here, we consistently do 50, 60,000 a month. That would give you $9,000 in overrides from your team. Now, again, don't be a travel agent. Do personal production. Okay, if you do 15,000 in personal production, that could be between 9 to 10 policies a month. It's not that hard. You make another 11,500, and that's how you get to the $250,000 a year, pretty much. It's not that hard. Okay, but again, you got to be consistent in this business. JC knows we talk about this all the time about being transparent, about making sure you guys understand, because I've seen presentations where they're like $1 million a year and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, you're not even making that. We actually prove it because we're making way more than this. So we do have a proven system that this does work. Okay. This business gives you actually own your book of business. Again, this might be foreign to a lot of people, but believe me, how this is very powerful. Understanding that you own your book of business is key. We left our previous company that we were there since 2018. They owned every one of our clients, every one of our business. We couldn't move them. Imagine all those years of everything that we worked and everything stayed over there. You become a shareholder in the company. There's actually, you have the ability to become a shareholder. You own your agency legacy program. So I already own my agency legacy program. Once you get to a certain level, if me and my wife pass away, our children take over our business. It's contractually written on document that they take over our business. And you could actually strategically sell part of your business. It's something that they just came up with because it happens instead of selling all your business, they allow you to, hey, I could say sell 10%, 20% of my business because I have an opportunity to make an investment over here and I'm still making money from here, but they cash me out on a percentage of my business. You actually could do that right here. So that's the legacy play. This is the commission structure. Again, is bananas because everybody starts people at like 25% outside, 30%, all these other companies. And when they say, well, the heck, you guys are starting at 70%, there's brokers or agency owners in other companies that their highest level is about 75%. And you're starting people here at an unfair advantage over everybody else. Okay, so people start at a 70%. I'm just going to show you some key points. Executive directors, agency owner, you have at 115%. And to me, what sold it was this. Gabby, let's say you're an agency owner, you're at 115, I'm in your team and I'm at 70. Well, guess what? You're making 45% on whatever I'm doing. Okay. But here's the key. As I get promoted, I'm right here. Typically in corporate America, you're there. You're stuck at 100%. They're not going to move you because there's only one owner. But right here, and you guys already know about generational, right? Multi-level is like there's an incentive for you to promote me to 150%. One of them is now I own my agency too. But second, since I own my agency, okay, you promoted me, Gabby. What is in it for you if I'm at 115 and you're at 115? Well, the company will pay you like a franchise fee of 14% of whatever I do on my agency. Very simple. On average, per agency, you make about $4,000, okay, that you promote. Do the numbers. 20 agencies, $4,000 a month, $80,000 a month. That's 960,000 a year. That's the blueprint. It's simple. Get to a point where you're agency owner, promote 20 agencies, and then obviously whatever you do is going to get you over $1 million a year. It's just that simple. Me and my wife, when we saw this blueprint, we're obsessed about doing that because right now we have agencies that are all the way to our third level. And that's great. That's free money that they're giving us because this agency recruited an agency that promoted an agency that promoted an agency. And that's great. It's growing in spite of it. Like it keeps on growing. I'm like, hey, I don't care any money that comes in. I'm ecstatic about because it's going to happen, right? There's going to be studs that you bring into your business and they're going to keep on building agencies and that's fine. But you always got to focus, just like what JC, your front line. Who's in the front? Who are you going to be able to promote into your front line? Because that's what's all the money is going to make a ton of money doing that. And then from there, believe me, you get to enjoy life at a whole different level. Because the more money is coming in, it's going to be at a whole different conversations. The conversations are a lot nicer, right? So there is a license that you have to get, a state license, depending on where you're at. And the benefits that we have, listen, there's no fee to start with us. You don't pay anything to start. I call it like, listen, it's like going buying a car and test driving it for a month. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you take it back. Okay. There's no fee to start. There is a licensing, pre-licensing course that you get afterwards, but there's no fee to start. And you check out the system, the CRM technology that we have. We're leadership development focused. By the way, we help clients with ITIN and EIN. And by the way, there's people that could get licensed in California and other states with an ITIN. You can't do that in other state, in other places, right? In other companies. We're in the U.S., Puerto Rico, and Canada, and JC knows that we just got some breaking news today that we're about to open in Mexico too, as well. So we're going to do something magical in Mexico as well. We have English and Spanish training, so our system is actually in Spanish as well. You own your book of business. If you're like, listen, and I know that you guys are not it because you guys do recruit for a living. I mean, you're in the industry of recruiting, but you might encounter some people that say, listen, I just want to sell. I don't want to recruit. Perfect. We have a model that you don't have to recruit. You become a shareholder. There's no caps on your commission. One of my agency owners last month alone made 120,000. He surpassed me. I'm like, dang. Why? Because he's working with high net worth individuals. There's one commission that he got paid $40,000 helping one client. Just one client. Okay. You can sell your agency. The system that we have is incredible. The CRM technology that we have is amazing. But check this out. All the trainings that I showed you that we do in Zoom, we have a university where you could go in there and watch the videos at any time. I have people that have come from other companies that don't join many meetings. Next thing you know, they're submitting business. I'm like, how the heck did you submit a business? I went online and I searched final expense and I searched how to do it. I did the application. I did it on my own. I'm like, perfect. I love it. Like, I'm not hating, like, go for it. Do your thing, right? And at the end of the day, listen, everybody fits into three categories. Either you want to partner with us and you want to build income, right? Leadership, long lasting. long-term legacy, right? And that's what I'm very big on, legacy. For my family, legacy for me. Like I want to be somebody. My name has to stand for something long-term, right? Or listen, some people just want a financial education. They want to learn how to win the money game. Okay, that's fine. We can help you learn how to win the money game. Or some people might be like, listen, I know a lot of people I could refer you, but I might not have time for this. I think you guys don't fit into that category because you're here and you obviously I know JC, the people that he knows and what he's building. So listen, at the end of the day, the ball's in your court and you get to decide what you want. But I will tell you one thing that the best decision I've ever made, and I've had a crystal ball and or a time, I could time travel and go back, I would have joined this industry way more before, right? Because there's a lot of bumps, a lot of bruises. When I'm talking about promoting agencies, I lost a lot of good people in my real estate business. I lost a lot of good people in my home security business because I was the owner. That's what I was going to share with you guys. And people were getting promoted, like in real estate, 70, 80% commission, 90% I would pay him. I can't pay you anymore. They're like, well, you got to pay me. There's no more meat in the bone. I got to pay my overhead. I can pay all of this. I would lose a lot of good people and they would become my competition because I couldn't pay them more. Right here, you could be at the same field. There's no limit to how I want people to outgrow me. I'd rather be million, $2 million. JC, man, I'm going to be his biggest cheerleader. I want him to get to 2, 10, $20 million a year. Okay. That's my focus all the time. That's my commitment. And I know JC talks about, believe me, JC is, me and JC are like, we'll work until like we can't work anymore. That's how committed we are in this business. We're up to something big. And if you guys want to join us, believe me, we're here to be able to help and serve you and assist you in any way. That's what pretty much what I got, JC. Go ahead and take it.
Thank you, thank you. Wow, give Pedro some love. Super polished, super sharp. And by the way, he's just as good in Spanish, if not better. So you've got a tremendous leader here. And I'm super excited because I can go ahead and point at somebody that's working this business 12, 14 hours a day. You know what I mean? And that's so exciting to me because I'm going to go and bring people, I'm going to write policies, I'm going to help them, field train those policies. But I love the fact that we've got the university that this team has, right? Which is Pedro and Juan Jaime, who's making $2 million a year. By the way, how long has Juan Jaime been at Experior, bro?
Experience a year and about 6 months, a little bit longer than
And
me.
and okay, in a year and in 6 months, what's his income right now, bro?
A little bit over $2 million. So he's about to hit 2.1. And by the way, listen, he could have been a lot higher, but now he's built. And it's funny that we mentioned it's ironic because we talked about, remember we said 4,000 and he said, listen, I have 43 direct DDs and he's making over 2 million. I'm like, hello, 4,000 for each. That's $2 million. The numbers don't lie. The numbers are
Yeah.
the numbers. Yeah.
So, and here's the deal. Like one of the things that Pedro has access to is in this company, there's different ways to build it, right? The traditional network marketing way, warm market, but additionally, in insurance, there's leads that somebody could buy and call leads, and that's what some teams do. There's one company that's doing really good, but that's all they do. They just lock their people in an office or at home and just call 8 hours a day. That's cool, but then you're going to be on the field for life. You're just going to be a salesperson. We're not. We're here to build agencies. We're here to build passive income, right? So there's a hybrid here. One of the visions that I have is we're going to have that system on packed trainings on that daily. Here's how you overcome objections, right? Early in the morning, so people from all over can get on, right? And but also we're going to do trainings on recruiting agents. There's a ton of licensed agents available that we literally have access to their contacts to give them a call to offer them an opportunity to come and work with us. That's another opportunity that we have. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we're gonna go, go and build something very, very strong, ladies and gentlemen. To me, I look at this. Look, I know friends that are in network marketing have seen people in network marketing, big, big leaders, driving Rolls Royces, driving Phantoms, driving these expensive 3, 4, $500,000 cars that don't have anything to show for it assets wise. A lot of the times it's smoke and mirrors. Now we're talking about an industry, ladies, and they just broke on a higher level. That's the difference. They're broke on a higher level. Sometimes people see, look, nobody is advertising their losses, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody advertises their losses on social media. We've got a regulated business that requires a license, that you are a professional, you are a colleague in any room. You go to any networking event with realtors and attorneys and doctors and chiropractors, and you're the financial services agent, they look at you as a fellow professional. And it's something, guess what? Very successful people invest in a lot of things. One of the main things that they invest in is in their life insurance policies. It is the best tax retirement vehicle, right? Yes, we diversify in crypto and real estate and different things, but life insurance is one of those things, and there's a lot of money. So I don't see anybody going, putting the blinders on for the next 5 years and really committing to learning this business, right? Especially you guys here, right? As sharp as all of us are here, and not be in a phenomenal place 5 years from now, right? And I don't know about you guys, but I'm planting my flag. I'm going to go and build something very, very special. We're going to do accountability on sales, on goals, on recruits, on ranks. It's going to be real accountability, real mentorship, and we're starting it today. So, I would love to open it up for any questions. I'm sure some of you guys have some questions. We all know each other here. So feel free to unmute yourself, ask some questions. We've got Pedro on right now. So not all at the same time, okay? So let's go ahead and unmute and ask some questions.
I have
Can
a
you not
question.
unmute? Oh, there you go.
I have a question. People that have insurance, life insurance through their job, and let's say I know they potentially can lose their jobs, like all these people from Spirit Airlines that just lost all their jobs. How do you approach them with life insurance? What do you offer if they say I already have life insurance through my job?
Well, you actually answered the question right there, because they got laid off. I have a story about that. We had a client, a potential client before COVID that we kept on telling them about life insurance. They were working in the airport, and they said, "Oh, no, 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 we have life insurance through work. We have life insurance through work." They never got it. In 2020, when COVID happened, they called us up and they said, "Pedro, can you help us out with life insurance?" And we're like, "Sure." What happened? Well, we got laid off. We were working at the airport, but we really need life insurance. They cut our life insurance. They cut everything because, again, it doesn't belong to them. It's kind of like it's something else that the employer has. And believe me, the employer has people don't even know what they have in some cases. Sometimes they have 20,000, 30,000. The person that should be in control of that should be you, right? That's always, and I always tell them, listen, that's great, man. So you already see the value in that. Let me show you one that you could own, one that you could have right now that is going to be permanent. Because did you sign a document that says, or are you that you're going to stay with that company forever? Is there a document that tells you that they're not going to let you go, or you're not going to look for another option somewhere else? They're like, no. Well, let's have a conversation, at least so you can see how affordable it is and go from there. But that particular person, we ended up applying and they ended up having a pre-existing condition that they had because were going through a lot of stress and they had a stroke during 2020. And that's the reason why they wanted life insurance, and they couldn't qualify with our previous company. They would have qualified right here with us now. But again, in stories like that, remember, facts tell, stories sell. So always connecting with people with stories is very, very powerful. But that is a great question because that is going to happen and that will happen with people.
By the way, Pedro, can you touch on, because there's a lot of business owners here, right? Can you touch on the executive bonus plan?
Yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness, I'm in love with the executive bonus plan for multiple reasons, okay? Because listen, when you're able to create a win-win-win, everybody's happy, okay? Because sometimes it's only a win-lose, okay? And maybe you make a big commission and they don't really win. But in this example, like for example, business owners, they're looking for write-offs, right? Business owners want write-offs at the end of, especially at the end of the year, they're trying to figure out where could they write off things. Most business owners, they do bonuses for their employees, not because they want to, because their CPA told them, listen, you need to get rid of this money or you're going to pay so much taxes. They got to buy a car. They got to do all of this. That's why you see a lot of people doing all of that at the end of the year, because they need to get rid of some of that money instead of giving it to Uncle Sam. So an executive bonus plan, especially a lot of independent business owners, you're your own employee. Okay. Now there's a strategy and there's a structure that you got to do it. But the way it works is like you give yourself an executive bonus plan through an IUL, and you get to write off 100% of that as a business owner, right? As an employee, obviously you're going to get it, you're going to pay the taxes on it, but that's why it's called there's a double bonus where you could even pay yourself extra to pay the taxes, right? It's better to pay smaller taxes than pay the bigger one with the business owner. But the good thing about it is that you get an IUL with a lot of accumulation that you're going to put in there that it's going to end up tax advantages that you're going to have, and you get to write off all of that stuff in your taxes too. And from an agent's perspective, that's when you make the 5, 10, 15. That's how my buddy, my friend, made $40,000 from one of those transactions because he had a business owner that was a doctor that put a lot of money into that. And again, you're putting money for yourself. You guys know that life insurance is not taxable, right? Like if you pass away, you transfer your wealth over to your family, your estate, without paying taxes. Now, a lot of wealthy people want to put their money somewhere where, guess what? They're not going to have to, their children, their grandchildren, whoever benefits, it's not going to pay taxes on that estate. And that's how they transfer over all of that money without paying taxes, the legal way of doing it. And at the same time, they protect themselves because you could be covered for millions of dollars if you pass away too soon. Your family gets even more. If you have a pre-existing condition or something that happens to you, critical illness, heart attack or something, you get money. It's a win-win-win all around. So business owners, believe me, see this. Somebody taught me this once. They say, listen, it takes the same amount of effort to talk to a client, a client, than a high-ticket client. So why not focus on high-ticket clients a lot more? So, yeah.
Right. Yeah, listen, that's super exciting. Not only that, the living benefits, right? Somebody gets that executive bonus IUL, right? They got a big insurance coverage. So guess what? I think, I live a healthy lifestyle, but does that mean that it's impossible that I could ever have some kind of chronic illness, heart attack, stroke, or anything like that? That's possible. I mean, I'm married to a Latina. You know what I mean? It's a Hispanic woman, right? Just kidding. Just kidding. I say that because I saw her walking earlier. She's half Salvadorian, half Mexican. So
Did
there's
she
a high
just walk
likelihood,
inside?
You gotta
right?
be careful, JC. If I see a chunk or
Be
something
careful.
flying,
She's telling me to tread lightly. She knows this tread lightly, right? So no, but no, it's in the name, Hispanic. His panic. Just kidding. That's the last joke for today. So, but my point is, ladies and gentlemen, and by the way, my wife and I, we make jokes like that all the time. It's, we have a good time. She's my best friend. So, but anyways, the living benefits, right? I ask people, look, think when you're 65. Do you think that it would be beneficial? Let's say you have a $500,000 policy. The living benefits is 2% a month on average, right? Or the living wage of your state. That's about $10,000 per month that you've got. If heaven forbid, you get some kind of chronic, terminal, or critical illness, right? And if I miss anything, Pedro, please let me know. That's a big deal. That's and this whole life is for the rest of your life. Eventually, you're self-insured. You're not making the payment anymore. You're just self-insured for the rest of your life, right? So people with big money, when they see an IUL, they realize, dude, I got a client right now that's looking for a $3 million IUL. Okay, he's going to pay about $3,400 per month approximately, because he's looking for something, now that requires medical exams and stuff like that when you got such a big policy. But he says, look, I want to put the money into the IUL because a big portion of that is available to him if he needs it. And what I love about the IUL is that even if I fund that IUL, I could access a lot of that money and I still earn interest on the money that I took out as well. So it's one of the best kept secrets that's out there. And we're generally blessing people with this opportunity, with these services. So yeah, we're gonna blow the doors off the hinges. So if you decide tonight not to partner with us, I would advise you to invest in some hinges, because we're gonna blow the doors off the hinges. Okay, that way you can benefit from this movement that we are gonna start here, because it's gonna be, and Pedro will tell you, we don't play games. We both quit school because of recess. Okay, we're like, no, man. You know what I mean? So we're gonna go anyways. But I'm very excited, guys. Thank you for getting on
I'd love to
here.
ask a question and also make a comment, JC. So, first
Yeah.
of all, one regret that I have is I didn't invite, 5 or 10, people on, but when JC Rangel asked you to be on a call, then you jump on. And that's just the reality of it. Pedro, I thought loved your, presentation. As a professional networker that's, been in this game for 30 years and been fortunate to have a lot of success. Um, I think for the average person, maybe there's a little bit of fear, like they have to get their um, regulations and go through the tests and everything. Do y'all have like, I mean, is this something like the average person could, because referring people I think is easy, but do y'all have a process for just like a regular person who's, working a job, a 9 to 5, but wants to make some extra money and wants to get regulated and everything and have success with it?
Yeah. So I could answer that if it's okay, JC.
Yes, please.
Okay. So one of from the previous company that I come from, ends with America. They actually built the business based on part-time people. So the founder of the
Mm.
company actually started on a part-time basis. And quite frankly, those are some of the best people to come into this industry because they already have the pain of not wanting a job. So they're gonna
Mm.
hustle a lot faster, right? Sometimes we're our worst enemies where like think about it. You start young and somebody tells you what to do, your parents, right? Then you go to school, somebody tells you what to do, you get a job, somebody tells you what to do, and then they give you the keys to your time and you're listening to the wrong person most of the time, which is yourself. So people that have a job, they already have that pain, right? Of like, I need to
Mhm.
do something, right? We even call it the day you fire your boss because you're making so much money here that you could fire your boss, the opposite.
Sure.
So this business was originally made, right? The way it exploded through in the 1970s and 80s and even still keeps on exploding through a lot of part-time people. Okay? Because part-time people, you still have a big market through your co-workers and a lot of people that you know, and you start going into this gradually and making money. And when you start seeing like, oh shoot, I just made two, three, four, $5,000, eventually, you'll be able to replace the income that you're making. So yeah,
But y'all have the training and everything for the average person who is not, I think that's to get the masses and everything. So that sounds great.
yeah. Let me show you
Yeah.
the university, Brian. Look, this is the Diamond University that we have, and we have trainings right here. If we go back, so this was term and final expense. So we have everything. So a term, final expense, IUO trainings, annuities, builders boot camp. So everything that is recorded business presentations.
So
By the
great.
way, we have them
Yeah.
in Espanol too. We have like
Mhm.
everything in here, even business mastery. And we still do extra work ourselves to be able to, we have courses and Zoom meetings that we do for people that are getting licensed so we could help them pass that license and get it going. In most states, the score is only 60 to 70% to pass. Believe me, it's like a C student. So you're not in this one, like
That's me. Yes, I have a Louisiana public school education.
me
So
too. I'm the same way.
there we go.
I'm the same way. Listen, I was a kid that got in trouble in school. I was a kid that didn't want to go to school. It's funny because my dad, hopefully she's not listening to me. My daughter doesn't like to go to school. And I told my wife she's gonna be good in sales, right? Because she likes to talk a lot. So I'm
There
okay
we
with that.
go.
I don't beat her up too much. But look, these are all the different training videos just for term and final expense. I've done a couple of them myself. But literally, they're focused on training you on the product. Once you start learning about the product, it's about presentation, illustration, and application. They literally show you how to fill out the application right there, where to go. So believe me, when you're hearing this information, don't be scared. It's a lot of, it's not, it's,
It sounds like a lot, and it's like, yeah, if you get it to where people can feel like, bro, I can actually do this. Good Lord, yeah, yeah,
we do
this is
keep it
great.
simple. We keep it
Yeah.
super simple. We guide you every step of the way. We actually have a 12 appointment training system that we go
Mm-hmm.
with you on your first 12 appointments to really help you develop and hone these skills. And even
That's
after
so
that,
great.
we still are with you, right? Because the goal is to create what we call certified field trainers so that you could be able to field train people and you could go out there and do the same thing.
Mm,
Okay, but that's why we do a lot of one-on-ones with people. So this is a group setting, but we like to focus on
sure.
one-on-ones to really help you develop those skills. But in your license, believe me, the license is not that hard. It's not
Yeah.
that hard. So many people, that's the number one thing that tell me, Pedro, it wasn't as hard as I thought. In the beginning, you're listening to some of the things, and I might sound like foreign language, but once you get the hang of it, it's like don't overcomplicate it. Just keep it simple. Just understand what it's saying. And
Yeah. Well, I've got whole life and I've got all these things but I wouldn't know how to explain it to someone. So this is great, especially if an average person can get involved. I mean, this is awesome and I love the presentation and like I said, I just wish I would have brought, some more people on and but yeah, thank you very much.
my
So,
pleasure.
Thank you, Brian. By the way, Brian is a good friend of mine for over 10 years too. I realize, man, I say that very often. A lot of you guys I've known for more than 10 years. And I think that's a very positive thing to say about our friendship. You know what I mean? Because I'm very fortunate to know you guys for so many years and the fact that we're still in touch and we've worked together. Some of us we've worked together, then we haven't for a time, then we work together again. Doug is another one. We'll go to you right now, Doug. But Brian has made millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars in the network marketing industry. So I'm not surprised that he has his, and IUL is also a form of a whole life. I'm not surprised that he has that stuff set up, bro. But if you need me to review your policies, bro, to see if there's something better we can do for you, hit me up or you got my
Let's
number.
go.
Yep. So Doug, I know you had your hand raised.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
First of all, thank you, brother, for inviting me on the call. You and I have known each other for a long time, 10 plus years, as you've mentioned. One of the things, and I always joke, people kind of always give me a hard time. I'm that guy that likes to poke holes in things. So, but I got to tell you, just listening and seeing what I've seen so far, I'm really impressed. I was looking at one of these articles here by Global. This was just put out recently. I guess the Experior Financial Group has swiftly emerged as a leading player in the financial service industry. This was an interview that was done with the Jamie Prickett, the CEO, and it's quite positive in a lot of different ways. And I'm looking forward to learning more about the company. You know me, JC, man. You and I have had a lot of success together over the years doing some stuff. We've also had some failures too. Some absolute turds that we we wish we could have flushed a little sooner. But hey, that was it's okay, man. That's all part of the learning experience.
Right.
But no, thank you for bringing me on. Very professional, very polished, educational moment here, and I look forward to, first and foremost, writing policy with you, because we've been working on that, as you know. And number two, more importantly, if this looks as solid as it does, then I'm excited about partnering with you. We've been looking for opportunity to get back together again and do some stuff positive. Yep. And I'm grateful that we have this opportunity to work together again, brother. So thank you.
Thank you, bro. The Doug texted me during the presentation, hey, how many people have you signed up? I said, I just signed up. So I think I got 2 people in. He says, I'm number 3 then. I said, all right, sounds good. I'll send you the link. So, and I know that some of you guys are ready to come on board as well. So you could be in the top 10. One thing I told Pedro is, and I told Juan Jaime too, he mentioned that he has 43 frontline. And I mentioned this earlier, right? My goal is 40 frontline in the next license in the next 90 days. And, and here's one more thing that we're going to do. People that are producing, people that are working, especially early on, I'm going to be working with putting people under people's teams, because if you're working and you're producing, meaning sales and recruits, I'm going to be placing people under you as well, right? And the reason why is because we have to create these success stories. Not only that, some people jive better with you than they will with me, or whatever the case may be, right? Or maybe they're in your market, right? I'm going to be doing YouTube ads, Instagram and Facebook ads. I'm going to target a lot of, I already have the scripts. I'm going to target a lot. If you look at my Instagram and Facebook, I'm already putting IUL videos. I'm going to create a system, which we already have. It's an AI system. So you don't even have to get in front of the camera. We just got to get a good picture of you. We give you the scripts. We've got 50 scripts for products. We got 50 scripts for recruiting. And we record your voice for 30 seconds, get a good picture of you looking really sharp. And it's all AI doing the talking. And people watching the video don't know that it's AI doing the talking. And then we're going to say, look, here's what you share every week on your social media. So you look like the expert, you sound like the expert, and you're 100% accurate because we give you the content. That's like, we're going to go, because here's the deal. I don't have to deal, ladies and gentlemen, with day-to-day corporate stuff. That takes a lot of time. I could focus 100% on building. You guys don't realize how exciting that is for me. I just got to go build, recruit, train. That's what I gotta do, man. We're gonna win. So, look, Pedro, if you could just share with them, in closing, what it takes to get started here, which is one of the most exciting things for me when I saw this opportunity.
Yeah. So what it takes is all it is an application that you got to fill out. So JC, you could probably send him that application. It's a link that he has. It is going to ask you for your credit card at the end, because there is a monthly afterward for the back office and all that starts at $19 a month. And it goes up as you move up in position. Believe me, you're gonna be wanting to move up because you're making more money. So when somebody told me once, can it be lower? Yeah, I could drop you in position. Oh, no, I'm okay. I'm okay with the higher position, right? But you get a free month of just testing it out. You can't break the system. Log into the system, check it out, look at everything. Just like what Doug was talking about right now, Jamie, we actually just met with Jamie earlier today. JC got to meet him, and that's the proximity because I'm very big on proximity. I'm very, very big. That's when I came over. I'm like, okay, where's Jamie? I spoke to Jamie. I spoke to Juan. And I'm like, I'm in. Because if I know I got their support, that's a big part, getting the support directly from the CEO. I was actually messaging with them earlier before I jumped into this meeting, him and his wife, and we got to speak at the convention that we just had and stage. So believe me when I tell you, proximity is power. Proximity is everything. Right now, you are just so close to the source, especially with JC being so close, that is just this thing is about to explode. So there is a application that you fill out. We send you the link. JC could send you the link, or you guys could send JC your first name, last name, email, and we can send you the link, and you could fill it out, get it completed. It's in English or Spanish. If you have Spanish speaking, that could do it. You could literally start recruiting day one also. So you come into the business, and if you have people that might want to come in, I would recommend maybe have some of us in front of you with them in the beginning so you can start learning. But if you have somebody like a brother, a sister, somebody that has already been thinking about it, you could bring them in. We'll show you exactly how to sign them up right there online too as well. But you want to get ahead of it. I talk about momentum all the time, and I talk about Lodi. Lodi is called law of diminishing intent. Okay? The longer you wait for something, the less chance that it's going to happen, right? Even myself, I've actually learned to pull the trigger faster because I'd rather learn. Like Doug just said, some turds. Guess what? I've gotten my share of turds too. So, but listen, you're never going to find out unless you fail, right? And I'm here to tell you that this business, if you really work this business, is going to work for you. This is the highest paid, hardworking industry and the lowest paid, lazy industry. So, full transparency. So if you're going to be on Netflix and chilling, like a lot of people on TikTok are posting that they're making all this money in this industry, like this is a business that will make you a ton of money if you put work into it. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There is work, there's commitment that you got to put. But if you want to make $4,000 to $5,000 a month, you could definitely make $4,000 to $5,000 a month consistently, probably doing less work than you do in a normal job. Okay, because people don't work as much right here as they say they do. Okay, but all it is again, get JC your name, full name, first name, last name, email, and you'll send over the link, and you just fill it out from there. We can help you from there. It's very simple.
Yep. So you sign up, guys, and it doesn't cost you anything to get started, right? You do put your credit card info in. After 30 days, you pay the $19 a month. That gives you your back office. That gives you your CRM. By the way, there's companies that say we don't charge you anything, but then the toolkits service is $29 a month. That's a third-party company. That IMO is not charging you anything. But the tools are telling you to use cost more than what our back office uses, which, by the way, the toolkits is included in our back office, right?
Yep.
You've got the university, you've got the CRM, you've got everything to run a real business. You could track your entire teams. In this company, unlike others, you don't have to be appointed to every state to override your sales from every state. You don't have to be appointed with that particular carrier. If you're not appointed to a carrier and your teammate did a sale with that carrier, you get paid on those overrides on that anyway. So there's a lot of things you're going to learn along the way. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, Pedro. Thank you very much, brother, for spending this time. Those of you guys that want to get started, that want to get the link, send me a message directly. Send me your name, your name and your email, and I'll go ahead and send you over the link. I recommend let's get started, guys. Those of you guys that want to rock with us, this is the time. Brenda and her sister are already in. They signed up. I know that Doug is like, bro, I'm in. Yeah. Let's get it going. And I love you guys. Listen, whether you guys join our team or not, you guys know that I got love for you. You guys know that we're friends, and it's all good. But I want you guys to see, and this is my very first meeting ever. So if you're here, it's because I think very highly of you. I personally invited you because I think very highly of you. And we're gonna do some very special things. And once again, God bless all of you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for getting on here. Once again, Pedro, thank you. And I'll see you guys at the top or from the top.
Take care.
I'll send you this record. This recording will be available too. Thank you,
guys. Later, JC. Thanks.
Thank you, bro.
Right on.